What's good, guys? Just Prince TV here, talking to you about some hip hop and politics as always. But I want to get into the day three of the most underrated MCs for me, cause we did three of the most overrated. So let's break down three of the most underrated rap artists of all time for myself. And one of those three would be none other than Big Pun, Big L, and Prodigy of Mob Deep. Okay, those are my three most underrated rap artists, MCs of all time. They were so diverse and ahead of their time, and I felt like they never got the credit they deserve. Like for instance, I'm gonna start off with Prodigy of Mob Deep. Okay, Prodigy was like a very unique artist. I don't think you understand how unique he was. He could rap as if he was talking to you. And as if he was talking to you, put that times 10, like he's threatening to do such and such to you, but in a rhyme flowing way. Okay? It's a work of genius. There was a time when Prodigy was like pound for pound one of the best artists out of New York, or one of the best hardcore lyricists of all time. You know, and he still is. And I think his unique flow is so diverse, but it don't get that much credit. You know, he was great at what he does. He perfected a whole genre of hip hop, and that whole genre that he perfected was hardcore, gritty, street hip hop. He has that on lock. I mean, there's like really no other rap artist that did that in that fashion, in that way that he did it. I mean, it was a work of genius. You know, he gave you bone chilling tales. You know, so he's on that list. And another guy on that list is Big L. Now, Big L passed away a little too soon before he could officially blow up. But even when he was alive and he was doing his thing, I thought he was slightly, heavily underrated. Okay, not slightly, heavily underrated. You had guys like Nas that even would tell you, Big L put fear in him. You know, Nas was like, I never heard an artist like Big L before. And that's what a lot of people's first thoughts of Big L was. He was so lyrically potent. He was like the first punchline king. He is the true punchline king. Before Lloyd Banks and all these other guys, it was Big L. You know, if Nas was quote unquote God's son, Big L was the complete opposite. He was, you know, the evil version of Nas, you know, because he would say a lot of twisted, dark things. But at the same time, he was just off the charts with it. His flow and delivery was so impeccable. You know, I heard this guy rap for the first time. It literally blew my mind. I'm like, who is this guy? He had the same impact on me like Nas had when Nas first heard him. And Big L had a lot of guys on notice. You know, Jay-Z know. That's why Jay-Z was about to sign him. All these people that heard Big L, they were memorized, infatuated with his flow, and they wanted to sign him. He was on the verge of greatness. He would have been one of the greatest hip-hop artists of all time. Lifestyles of the Rich, Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous is a classic. Period. Classic. If you have a chance, go check it out. And then go look at his album that they put together with like freestyles and stuff. Still a classic. And that wasn't even a full album. So he's definitely on that list. And number three is guy out the South Bronx, Big Pun. Big Pun's lyrical delivery, capital punishment. He was like a new age Coogee rap. But he was so much like Coogee rap, a lot of people canceled him out. They completely swept him under the rug. But his lyrical prowess, his wordplay, the way he could spit like 100 bars in a 16 bar format. He could hit you over the head with so many great lyrics. You had to hit the rewind button and be like, what did he say? What did he say? You know, the people were like, man, I heard a Big Pun, but I didn't know he was this nice. That's how great he was. He was very great when it comes to wordplay and lyrics. And I think he get overlooked, you know, and mainly he gets overlooked for some of those reasons. And I think he got overlooked if you're gonna ask me this, I hate to go there, but I think he got overlooked a little bit because of his race, because he wasn't black. I honestly believe that, because I remember the times when he was out, a lot of people overlooked him and didn't give him the time because he wasn't a brother, you know. And I thought that was really wrong, and really a form of discrimination, you know. Even though he had the pass to say the N word, he fit into the culture, he lived in the same neighborhoods as us. Why didn't you give him a time to on your radar to listen to? He was that great, you know. And it's a shame that he was overlooked, and I think that was one of the reasons, you know. Because I remember, I will never forget a guy who happened to be a brother. He listened to Big Pun. He was like, man, I know Pun was nice, but I didn't know he was this nice. Because he heard Capital Punishment album. And I said, I told you so. If you just listen to the guy, you will realize how great of an artist he is. So in this format, underrated artists, number 1, Big L. Number 2, Big Pun. And number 3, Prodigy or Mobb Deep. I picked in that order because I think Big L and Big Pun could have been superstars, like elite, best of the best, you know. And Prodigy was just best in one category of hip hop. But those two guys was too diverse for Prodigy. But nevertheless, those are my 3 top underrated artists. Who are your 3 top underrated artists? Holla at me. Just Prince TV out.